Today we'll be discussing dressing for success during your interview. And I realize that it may be a rudimentary topic to some people, but at the same time, when you're preparing for an interview, it's always good to go back to the basics because first impressions do matter. And really, whether it's in person or virtually, there's some tips that just they cross the line that they're good for both. And also in an interview, you want to. I realize that many of you, it's very versatile what you're interviewing for, what industry you're in, what position you're going for. But there's some common threads that really traverse all throughout all industries. So before we get started, let me tell you a little bit about System 1. System 1 is a leading provider of specialized, highly technical outsourced services and workforce solutions to critical infrastructure, technology, life sciences, and government sectors. We are a trusted and essential partner to large private and public organizations. Founded more than 40 years ago, today System 1 is a diversified organization operating in over 50 locations and putting more than 9,000 people to work in the US, Canada, and the United Kingdom. Okay, that being said, we will start with in the introductions of our expert panel. In the meantime, what we'd like you to do is comment in the comment section and let us know where you're commenting from and what industry you're in. You can also see in the comments section all of our contact information. So please always, you're always free to connect with us on LinkedIn, and our contact information is there. I will start. My name is Karen Callahan. I'm the communications manager in the marketing department for System 1. I've been working here almost a year, and I'm coming to you from Ormond Beach, Florida. One fun fact about me, and my colleagues kind of tease me about it, is I'm one of the few people that really enjoy going to the dentist. I don't know why. I'm obsessed. I love going to the dentist, and I love getting my teeth cleaned. So people say, that game, two truths and a lie. I always get people on that, but now everybody knows, so I can't use that anymore. But it's a good way also to segue into our topic, because when my teeth feel cleaned and polished, I feel more confident and comfortable in doing interviews, going to events, going on vacation. So that's one thing that I like to do to kind of make myself feel a certain way. So next on our introductions, I believe we have Allie. So Allie, why don't you introduce yourself and let us know the hot job that you have available?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Karen. I'm Allie Hayes. I'm the brand awareness manager at ALTA IT Services. ALTA is a subsidiary of System 1. I've been there for about 3.5 years now. So a fun fact about myself, I live down in Boynton Beach, Florida. So across the way on the east coast of Florida from Rich and Karen. I snorkel a lot. I've taken that up recently, so I think that's a bit of a fun fact. But my new thing that I'm hopefully going to start trying soon is paddle boarding. I've seen so many people do it on the beaches, the intercoastal and everything. So that's going to be my hobby that I take on. And I was going to chime in after you brought up the dentist. Another quick, fun, weird thing is I still have a baby tooth. So I never had a permanent tooth underneath that pushed it out. So I am still rocking with it, and hopefully it won't fall out before my wedding in October. But we will see. It's possible. So I do have a hot job. So we are hiring right now for an information security analyst. This is a remote position. All of the information can be found in the chat here. But if you go to jobs.system1.com, you can search for this specific opportunity using job ID 288205.
Excellent. Thanks, Allie. And next up, we have Stacy. Stacy, will you tell us a little bit about yourself and the hot job that you have available?
Absolutely. Thank you, Karen. I'm Stacy Sprague, Director of Accounting and Finance for our Tulsa, Oklahoma office. Here we specialize in accounting and finance, and we also have engineering and IT. I've been with our company for 11 and a half years now. Fun fact about me, actually, Allie, you kind of stole mine a little bit. We don't have beaches here in Oklahoma, so I'm stuck with lakes, but I stand up paddleboard. I love to stand up paddleboard, and so I got to do it on the lake, but it's fun. It's my way to relax, and so that's where you'll find me on the weekends. It's a blast. My hot job I'd like to highlight. First of all, I'd like to say do go to jobs.system1.com because we have a lot that we're currently looking for in accounting and finance, as well as engineering and IT here in Tulsa. So check those out. But I'd like to highlight our Director of Human Resources position is in the Tulsa area for a local company here. They are growing and need to find this position would be a sole contributor. So they need someone that has the full gamut of HR experience, can do employee relations, recruitment, onboarding, training, benefits, payroll, a little bit of everything. They've got excellent benefits, competitive pay, really great environment, good culture. So check it out.
Excellent, thanks. And as Stacy said, check out jobs.system1.com. You can plug in the IDs, the ID numbers of the jobs that Allie and Stacy have shared, or you can search by keywords. Also, we have new jobs added every day. So thank you. Okay, Rich, you're up.
Hey guys, Rich Weed, Director of Marketing at System One. Great to be here today. I appreciate the invite. Thank you, Karen. As I said, Director of Marketing, so I'm responsible for all the marketing efforts that we do at System One, both client and job seeker facing. So got a lot on our plate, but we love doing it. We love having fun all the time. I am based in our Tampa office, Tampa, Florida. So 3 of 4 of us are Florida based, so that's pretty cool. One thing, System One is based in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So just so everybody knows, that's where our headquarters is. A fun fact about myself is I'm a huge Tampa sports fan. All things Tampa, great. Especially a big fan of the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I also am a hockey player myself. I play 2 times a week. So that's my fun fact.
And that's true. Rich is definitely our resident hockey nerd, so we love him for it. And I can vouch.
I'll wear it.
Okay, so our subject today is dressing for an interview, and like I stumbled through before, every interview is different in any industry. Every industry, you need to be able to dress a certain way, but there's like a common thread throughout. Because from head to toe, you really do want to be polished and presenting your best self because first impressions do matter. And the panel and I, we were discussing right before this, that it's even important whether you're in person or if it's a virtual interview, you really do need to be prepared head to toe to interview. And I was wondering if Allie can start the discussion explaining why.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you kind of touched on that point, that a virtual interview and an in-person interview, with how you dress and present yourself, it's going to be the same for both of those. You know, you don't want to have the mullet outfit, the professional on the top, party on the bottom. You just never know what's going to happen when you're at home. If a dog runs into the room, you need to get up because the doorbell rings. Anything can happen. So just be prepared there. And in saying all of that, touching on specifically those positions that you're interviewing for in an office type setting. We know there are positions in maybe engineering or nursing, healthcare, where this might be a little different, but I think what we're talking about here is more professional business attire that you should be wearing for interviews. And that's for men, a suit and a tie; for women, a nice dress, skirt and blouse, or even a pantsuit. And just making sure you're looking very clean cut. I do know that at least the last couple of years, I think we've seen a bit of a transition into more of a business casual look. You have a lot of companies that are either hybrid or fully remote. The interviews are going remote as well. And so that business casual can mean slacks, a sport coat for the men, a dress maybe without the blazer for women. So I think you are seeing a transition with that. But I think the best way to judge how you should dress for an interview would be to do a little research and ask, whether it's pulling up the company website and trying to get some information about their dress code policy, searching on LinkedIn and trying to pull up some employees of that company, taking a look at their profile picture, what they post about the company, what they say about the company, or just ask. Reach out to whoever you're interviewing with. If you're working with a staffing firm like System One, like ALTA IT, or any of the other companies there, you can talk to your recruiter that you've been working with, the person that's setting up that interview, and they'll be able to give you further information so you can go in fully prepared and not having to worry about that. But in the end, if you don't know, I think it's always better to be a little overdressed as opposed to underdressed, because like you did say, Karen, you need to make a good first impression, and your appearance is kind of the first step in that.
Yep, absolutely. And just to kind of piggyback, Allie, on what you said, working with a recruiter always has excellent benefits. And I think asking them to, does a company have a dress code? That's a great way to know how to dress. Do they have a certain shoe requirement? Do they have a certain, pant requirement, or whatever it might be? And I think specifically I'll speak here to women and women's attire. I think it's always great to stick with, even men, I guess I could say here too, to more muted tones. It just takes away kind of that distraction and keeps it to more of that professionalism of it, and keeps it focused more on your skill set and why you're there, and the professional level of, I'm here to present what I can bring to the table in terms of my skills and that type of thing. If you have busy patterns, busy colors, that can really be, distracting and take away from that. There's ways that you can show your personality and keep your, keep those things there, through the way you accessorize. Women love to do that. So jewelry or different things like that, have a little pop of color. You can do it that way. But when it comes to your makeup, natural toned makeup and your hair a little bit, toned down, nothing crazy. You really want to keep things well groomed, well put together, presented in a professional manner, because that is your first impression. That is what they're always going to remember about you. And that's going to set that very first tone, and how they're going to think, how is this person? Are they detailed? They're going to be looking at those details, and they're going to remember that. And that's how they're then going to put you to your resume.
Excellent point. How about you, Rich?
Yeah, no, I agree with both Allie and Stacy. I think it's really important that you honestly overdress, that you come prepared. For men, nice suit, good looking tie. Make sure you take care of your shoes, polished, clean. Make sure everything's set to go. I think it's important that you take a look at your hygiene, that you have a fresh haircut, that you're either clean shaven, or if, like myself, you like a little facial hair, that you trim that up, make sure it's squared away. I think you should make sure, your nails are done. Not, if you're a female or you're men, they're clean. I think those things are, as somebody just mentioned, those are the details that people are looking at. Make sure your breath is fresh. It sounds funny, but some people, depending on what your habits are, sometimes you come in and you got a little bit of stinky breath going, and it's just not good. It's just not good in an interview. Another thing that I think is really important, and it's not necessarily your attire, but it shows that you're prepared, and that's by coming in with a padfolio or something to write on, and a pen. Too many times I have people come in for interviews and they're just sitting there and they're not taking notes, or they're not doing any of those things, and it just, to me, reflects on their preparation. So I think those things are really, really important. That's
really good advice, Rich. I absolutely agree, because in an interview, you should be writing things down, because it's a two-way street. You're still trying to learn from the person that you're interviewing from, learn what the job entails. And that's some good takeaways, especially if you have a follow-up interview, God willing, right? Hopefully. What I kind of hear with a common thread is keep, like to Stacy's point, definitely keep things neutral and muted, but still have a little extra pop. I like to encourage people to be their authentic selves at all times. That being said, though, we were talking earlier, like even if you're a very creative, authentic person, you're bringing that face. What do you do if you have, let's say, tattoos or piercings? I want to kind of throw that to Allie again. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. So and this is my personal opinion. This is not coming from System 1 or from ALTA IT, but I personally don't mind tattoos. I think they are, like you said, they're an expression of someone's personality. That's who they are. And I have several coworkers that have tattoos, and at ALTA, they're known for their hard work and their success and their attitude towards their coworkers, their candidates, their clients, not for the tattoos or piercings that they have. But in this being a discussion about interviews, I think it goes back to the point that Stacy brought up, and it's keeping yourself a little more muted, where you're eliminating distractions to really have the focus remain on your skills and your abilities and how you can do the job and what you can bring to the table. So, if it is covering up tattoos, then you're keeping the focus on what you should be hired on. It shouldn't be based on your appearance. There are some instances where that might happen, which is unfortunate. But I think for an interview, you just need to look at it as eliminating distractions. And those are things that could potentially be a distraction.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I always tell my candidates to, especially for that first interview, you're not sure about a company's policy. You're not sure, what they're gonna think or what they're gonna say. So it's always best just to assume and just to play it safe, to cover them up. Take out the piercings. And then at some point, if you get further along in the interview process and it's important to you, it is an important part of your personality for those to be showing or to have those piercings in, then it would be important for you to ask that question. Hey, what is your policy on tattoos and piercings? To have that conversation so that in advance, and you can have that, then you can set that precedence that I have tattoos and piercings and I want to expose those or whatever. You can have that conversation and let them know. But initially in the interview, it would be playing it safe to cover them up.
Yeah, I gotta once again agree with you all what you said, especially Allie, you with eliminating distractions. Again, remember when you're in an interview, there are other people who are going to be interviewing as well, and eliminating those distractions so that they are completely focused on your ability to fit on that team, to do the job that you're being hired for, that they're looking at your skills and all those things. And that way, when they're comparing you with the other people who are interviewing, those distractions aren't there. It's purely about who you are, what your skills are, and how you're going to accomplish day in and day out those tasks that you're assigned.
Thank you. Excellent points. And I see the common thread is basically keep yourself polished, put your best self forward, eliminate distractions, but still at the end of the day, be authentic to yourself and just let your personality shine throughout the interview process. So excellent. Well, thank you again. We're about out of time. This was a really good discussion and a fun one. And I really appreciate our panel of experts joining in today. Next week, please join us. As always, our live events, Sound Off with System 1, are at 2 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time on Thursdays. And next week, we will be discussing developing career goals. So we hope to see you then. Thank you.
Thank you.